Shit. Who used to be with Google.
Same response, sir. Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shit.
Patrick Pichet?
Patrick P. Shit. Who used to be with Google. Who used to be with Google.
Same response, sir.
Missing parts in the house. Hey, how we looking, missing parts? I haven't had a chance to check my chat. Maybe I can do that now.
Who used to be with Google.
Yes, tomorrow is a great day because my co-host is scheduled for delivery tomorrow as well, missing parts. We are gonna transform mainstream media. News like bigger than boob jobs and Botox, I'm telling you right now. This is going to be transformational. You're thinking, what could be bigger than boob jobs? She was scheduled for Friday, but delivery has been modified to tomorrow. I'm so excited, missing parts. Little flower power. Nice. I'm going dark tonight. Oh my God, medical caramel. Oh my God, I'll bring the apples.
And we're only really here because thus far you've been right.
God bless you, Patrick.
Patrick P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett.
He used to be with Google.
He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett.
Same response, sir.
He used to be with Google. He used to be with Google.
Oh, Patrick Pichet?
P. Shett. He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir. Same response, sir.
was totally off on the timing with it.
Guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. Our toil, resources, and livelihood are all involved. So is the very structure of our society. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizen
Oh, Jesus,
can compel
we're in trouble.
the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense
With our peaceful methods and goals. Nice.
There are other functions, however, some of them more legitimate than others. One is to run secret wars, the covert action that's written and talked about so much, like what's happening in Nicaragua today from Honduras. Another thing is to disseminate propaganda to influence people's minds, and this is a major function of the CIA. And unfortunately, of course, it overlaps into the gathering of information. You have contact with a journalist, you will give him true stories, you'll get information from him, you'll also give him false stories.
Would you buy his confidence with true stories?
You buy his confidence and set him up. We've seen this happen recently with Jack Anderson, for example, who has his intelligence sources, and he has also admitted that he's been set up by them. You know, every fifth story just simply being false. You also work on their human vulnerabilities to recruit them in a classic sense, to make them your agent so that you can control what they do, so you don't
Agents
have to
of
set them up
chaos.
sort of, you know, by putting one over on them. So you can
AKA
say, here, plant
Torians.
this one next Tuesday.
Can you do this with responsible reporters?
Yes, the Church Committee brought it out in 1975, and then Woodward and Bernstein put an article in Rolling Stone a couple of years later.
Must be true.
400 journalists cooperating with the CIA, including some of the biggest names in the business, to consciously introduce the stories into the press.
Well, they aren't
Well,
going to
give me
use
a
those smallest
concrete
names in
example
the business.
How you use the press this way, how a false story is planted and how you got it published.
Nice, nice. One more. This is, by the way, thanks to Riley.
How a false story is planted and how you got it published.
Well, for example, in my war, the Angola War that I helped to manage, 1/3 of my staff was propaganda. Ironically, it's called covert action inside the CIA. Outside, that means the violent part. I had propagandists all over the world, principally in London, Kinshasa, and Zambia. We would take stories which we would write and put them in the Zambia Times, and then pull them out and send them to a journalist on our payroll in Europe. But his cover story, you see, would be that he had gotten them from his stringer in Lusaka, who had gotten them from the Zambia Times. We had the complicity of the government of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda, if you will,
Fucking
to put these
Zambians.
false stories into his newspapers.
Worse than the Canadians.
But after that point, the journalists, Reuters and AFP, the management was not witting of it. Now, our contact man in Europe was, and we pumped just dozens of stories
Content
about
managers.
Cuban atrocities, Cuban rapists. In one case, we had the Cuban rapists caught and tried by the Ovimbundu maidens who had been their
Nice.
victims, and then we ran photographs that made almost every newspaper in the country of the Cubans being executed by the Ovimbundu women who supposedly
give
had
'em
been
hell.
their victims.
These were fake photos?
Oh, absolutely. We
Oh, my
didn't
bad.
know of one single atrocity committed by the Cubans. It was pure, raw,
Nah, you could
false
probably find one.
propaganda to create an illusion of communists, you know, eating babies for breakfast and that sort of totally false propaganda.
Nice, nice. Yeah, love it. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the American Awakening. PFC Bergy reporting for duty. Let me fix my. Where's my button? Where's my button? Where's my button? There we go. That'll work. No, I don't want that one. Let's get the fuller one going. There we go. Hello, PFC Bergy reporting for duty. I decided to go dark. How's this even look right now? Yeah, we're good. Nice. Nice. I'm going to have to purdy myself all up. Thank you for joining the American Awakening. Yes, Riley's Twitter has been on fire the last few days. We will be lurking for a view. Here we go. Got a good show lined up, although it would have been better if I hadn't lost power for about 4 hours today. That kind of sucked. Gonna have to say, ain't gonna lie. Hold on one second here, though. Hold on, there we go. Like I said, I lost power. There we go. Focus everything in proper. There we go. And, nice. So, no, have a good show lined up tonight. The one on Monday, I mean, personally, obviously, there are some biases included. But the one on Monday, I found to actually be awesome. Personally. Not the show, but, just my researching of it, how I could relate to it. How surprised I was of how open they were about it. And so I'm going here to the American Awakening. To freedomstream.tv/PSYWAR. If you go to freedomstream.tv/contribute, you can help out, and I could use the help. That's for damn sure. Damn sure. But if you go to the American Awakening and you go to PSYWAR, this is our series page. It's a 10-part series. We're on 1207. Like I said, I lost power today. So I was kind of limited. I had already actually done most of this. A lot of the stuff that I had that I was going to move over here didn't happen. You like my nice little picture there, though. So today, our episode, the Bergy-Bit show notes. Our episode is Psychological Warfare in the Age of Social Networks. Part 5, the Social Media Industrial Complex, right? So, and then Friday, because I was actually going to kind of start out with the MIC, but I decided, which I was going to do like last week Friday, but I decided to bump it to this week Friday. So this week Friday, I'm going to do the MIC, mostly because so much shit was exploding right now with Twitter, with the Hunter Biden story, right? So these are all very kind of significant things. So today, is that coming? It's not even up there. Hold on a second, Berg. Get to the right page, would you? There, so you can see this. Psychological. I got to bring that out a bit. Hold on. I had made this kind of a little bit smaller because of the first thing I showed. Stop. There. Oh, shit. That button. There. Okay, much better. So, here we go. The Social Media Industrial Complex. So, starting out today, actually, I wanted to start, we're going to jump over to this, but then, but first I wanted to go here. So, bear with me one moment. Let me play this for a moment. This is from Fox News. It was their little, one of their little shorts, and it is quite short.
I see this as an interesting or a coincidence, if I may, that he would so haphazardly, Twitter would so haphazardly push this distraction That is a full of old news, if you think about it. And at the same time, Twitter is facing very real and very serious questions about the rising volume of anger, hate, and anti-Semitism on their platform, and how they're letting it happen. This isn't. We see this as
so I'm going to let this play through again.
Coincidence, and it's a
it's
distraction.
just stunning to me.
We see this
Listen.
as an interesting or a coincidence.
So, Karine Jean-Pierre, Twitter files are a distraction. She gets asked, a question about the releases of the release of the Twitter files. Now, again, I'll go, again, if you watch me for, ever, but January 2020, I filed a key tam in D.C. federal court, which includes the, basically includes as a fact witness, tactical coordinated social media psychological warfare being played out by Obama's former national security advisor. I also can make claims and stand behind them factually that, weapons that we helped develop to use against our adversaries to defend our country were later used against us. They're being used right now to influence the outcome of elections in America. I have evidence of this. I've tried to get in front of Congress to testify in front of Congress. I was like this close back in 2020 of December when, and let me go back in this thread here. When I responded to so this by the way was from a post that Riley made. He said these organizations, bureaucracies continue regardless of who's elected. The head might change, but the body stays the same. That's absolutely true. Yes, but there are We'll finish this. Not sure. I'm not sure an election can fix it. Not unless many ethical people from both sides are elected at 1X clean, complete house without party lines in mind. Okay, I read that horribly, but you can read it yourself. I don't disagree with any of that. I also, but I look at it also from a perspective. As an information assurance security officer for a decade with the Department of Defense, there are rules and regulations set up, so many that I see these people violating, that just aren't being addressed. We could begin with whistleblower protections, absolutely. But put that 30,000-foot perspective aside, and as it relates directly to what I've been trying to expose as a whistleblower. If I would have been able to get that to, if it's even now, if I could be allowed to testify in front of Congress. Now, both some of what I have to say is going to require a classified session, right? With people appropriately read on. But, the stuff that this guy's talking about, on top of the social media industrial complex, because he's talking about the mainstream media industrial complex, I'm talking about, but now we have, years, decades later, we have these two things. And basically, the mainstream media, the social media industrial complex controls the mainstream media industrial complex. So all the journalists, they're afraid. Their livelihood depends on their ability to have access to some of these major platforms like Twitter and Facebook. And so, Twitter and Facebook have the ability to, just ban them for saying something that they don't agree with, like what happened with our friend Hunter Biden, which is what I want to jump into right now. And then we'll go into some Ivan Raiklin shit here in a bit.
The world's richest man blowing the lid off of political censorship at Twitter, and it has many in the media mad about that. Elon Musk promising more smoking guns after giving journalist Matt Taibbi a treasure trove of internal company documents concerning the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story.
More like
Taibbi posting the revelations tweet by tweet.
Was it a treasure trove or more like a sewage truck? The ones that smell when you get stuck next to them on the on US 19, or the ones that when your yard gets filled, shit starts flowing in your yard, you call them and they suck it out. I would say one of those would be more accurate. The honey wagon, I believe, is also referred to.
Saying tweets were routinely removed at the request of both political parties, but Democrats had the advantage due to political leanings of the Twitter staff. Twitter justified the decision to suppress the laptop story using its hacked materials policy. But
thanks, Firefly. I will not interrupt it's great. I shouldn't interrupt the show. Oh, wait, shit, I just did. No, thanks, boss. I'll try to, I do my best, swear to God,
But that required
But I had to interrupt the show to tell you I wasn't going to interrupt the show, or it wouldn't be Wednesday here now, would it?
Official law enforcement finding of a hack, and that never materialized. Taibbi says this led the company to take extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be unsafe. Musk says there's more to come.
Twitter was acting like an arm of the Democratic National Committee. It was absurd. I think there will be more smoking guns, because the obvious next question is, well, what happened after the election?
The media not only downplayed it, they also attacked the messenger. Dozens of reporters accusing Matt Taibbi of doing PR work for the richest person in the world, and others in the press doing their best to downplay it.
Unbelievable.
Putting those things back on the platform.
Now, so this guy, used to be the head of the RNC? Republican National Committee. Is he can anybody answer me? Is he still Republican? I don't know. I think he is. But he's also very active in the Lincoln Project.
Juxtaposition with the argument that he's all about free speech really undermines some of the central tenets of free speech.
It sort of shows
what him talking about free speech undermining the tenets of free speech is as stupid as me interrupting what they're saying to respond to someone saying, hey, your show wouldn't suck so bad if you stopped clicking to interrupt, right? Mine was intentional as a joke. These people do it as a career.
is a real struggle at an important platform for how to deal with something so outrageous, so explosive, and what to actually do with it.
There is a long-running theme through Republican politics right now that big tech has censored conservatives. And that is enough. That is enough to have Republicans say, aha, this is exactly what we have been talking about.
And the White House says the story is not.
Aha. Oh, and another concern that I have, Real Firefly, but by the way, I really appreciate any time people give me a recommendation or suggestion. But another concern that I have is if you play these too long, and I have up the Fair Use Act and everything, you have to be continually providing commentary on things like Fox News. You can get away with it definitely better with like another news organization where you are opining on it, providing content. But you got to be careful. 30-second rule, right? I'm 57 years old. Nothing gets done in 30 seconds with me anymore, Wicked. Hey, Task Force. Well, I'm 56. I'll be 57 shortly.
Not even worth your time.
Twitter was so haphazardly pushed this distraction. That is a full of old news, if you think about it. And at the same.
Okay, think about it. Is it okay? I've stopped. I've thought about it, and I'm not entirely sure that's old news. In fact, we're talking about it right now.
Time Twitter is facing very real and very serious questions about the rising volume of anger, hate, and anti-Semitism on their platform, and how they're letting it happen. And, the president said last week, more leaders need to speak out and reject this.
What? Reject releasing documents that show the collusion, the coordination between in silencing American citizens by our government. Which, coming from a Democrat, are you freaking kidding me? The more your lie starts to fall apart, right? The more just, I'm sorry for lack of better words, retarded your customer needs to be, right? And right now, the only Democrats that are really buying what she's saying are literally the ones on the ground kind of drooling, right? Because their motor functions aren't just all there. And, those are going to be there. Who else? What Democrat, right? What Democrat looks and says, wow, that seems completely reasonable, right? That's what we were smoking all the weed for in the 60s and 70s, so that we could get into government and then we could control people's lives. Wait a minute. We were bitching about people getting into government controlling our lives, right? We were bitching about wars. And then all of a sudden you got these people coming out, little Jean-Pierre, whatever the frick her name is, coming out saying, wow, we just started 3 more wars. Yay. We're on track to break our own record, our previous record. And you just look at these things, you go, whoa, wait a minute. Where's this coming from? Well, clearly our government's out of control, right? And so they have these weapons, and they have tactical weapons that can blow you up. They have then shoot you, with projectiles, but they also have electronic warfare. They have the ability to hack your computer to get into your information and steal your stuff. But they also have the ability to hack your mind. And I'm telling you, Kanye, Ye, whatever the frick his name's supposed to be, that bitch, he got his shit hacked, right? But he was kind of a dick to begin with, actually a total dick to begin with. So I'm actually probably enjoying his downfall more than I should. I'm actually kind of hoping somebody does hook him up with Tory. I understand, based on his previous life, he likes back, and our Tory, that baby's got some fucking back. So I think Tory and Kanye should absolutely get together. They are both totally batshit crazy grifters, and I would just find the whole thing entertaining. So, just unbelievably, please God, get those two together.
Okay, they had days to plan an answer, and that is not the one I would have thought that they would give. Greg, if a tweet falls in a forest, is the media going to cover it?
No, but it's great. I love a news story that is outside the news control.
Yeah.
It's like releasing it tweet by tweet, and everybody's sitting there like this going, and then they have to pretend like it's not happening, which is what's going on. The real story about that accusation that Musk is doing, Matt Taibbi is doing PR work for Musk. That's not the story. The story is the cut and paste of it all. It was a uniform response of, I don't know, dozens of blue checkers that said the same thing. He's doing work for Musk. He's doing work. So it was.
Can I stop that real quick and just point out what a piece of crap that Piro is, and how she freaking completely threw me under the bus. And I want to vomit every time I see her, but I feel better now. I digress.
Clear. It's something, again, that we always suspected to be true and now is being verified, that there are marching orders. We just don't know where they come from, but there was some tweet. There was a sentence that was sent to all of these people that say he's doing PR for the world's richest man. That showed up everywhere. And that tells you that the media often relied on this.
Listen to what he's saying. That showed up everywhere. The tactical coordinated dissemination. I'm sorry again for interrupting, but this is really close. Pay attention to what he's saying right here.
On imaginary numbers. If you were going to speak up against the media or say something they didn't like, they would create the mob out of a singular message. And that message would be, you better shut up. That in itself is its own form of censorship, to create this mob of like, oh my God, look, all these people feel the same way. And it also shows you that the media does not come up with the stuff themselves. It's spoon-fed to them by whom? I don't know. Somebody in the DNC. It's just that it's amazing that the media, this is the best part, the media now functions as bots. The NBC disinformation correspondent is a bot. Ben Collins is a bot.
So, and I got to interrupt here because that's kind of a bit of a lead-in to our new co-host, the Bergy-Bot. Again, as this co-host, the Bergy-Bit, is going to present to you something, again, as transformational as boob jobs and Botox have been to the mainstream media news or industry. And I'm just saying that flat out as someone who understands the importance and significance that boob jobs have brought to news and truth and journalism.
Thing that he tweeted was tweeted everywhere else. How hilarious is that the disinformation specialist is himself a disinformation bot? He should call himself out. He might get a promotion.
Miranda Devine also talked about the other source of this, which was that Twitter said that they had to have a hacked materials policy. Okay, so who was helping them decide that they needed to have that? Well, Miranda Devine, she has an idea. Listen to her here.
The FBI had come to Twitter and told them in their weekly meetings before the 2020 election to look out for a hacked materials, a hack and leak operation that they believed was going to be about Hunter Biden, and it was going to come in October. So, of course, when Twitter saw...
Well, and keep in mind that I believe Rudy Giuliani originally received that in August, within a few weeks of Millie's arrest. Her husband and her brother. Again, could have been completely something they were doing. I have no idea. But the timing on the arrest of Millie uploading Shadowgate, maybe somebody didn't understand. Maybe somebody thought something about Hunter Biden was on Shadowgate, and they didn't know. It was going out. They needed to stop it to see it. Or they needed, instead of to stop it, they needed to, get Millie alone for a couple days so they could get her and her, threaten her with her kids and get them on board with some sort of, confidential informant. I don't rule anything out, and I do my best to base these I'm not basing what I'm saying on something like just to be spiteful or mean. Although I do that occasionally with Tory. I base this because the evidence that I have, my participation and my personal fact-based, fact-witness knowledge of a lot of events that, frankly, a lot of people just don't have on what went on. And these are significant events. Oh, why do you always talk about Tory? Well, because she was a key figure in what I believe was a soft coup d'etat on our country. So I don't think it gets much more important than that. I don't obviously focus entirely on her, but obviously when the misinformation, disinformation, right here we've got her talking about when Rudy received Hunter's laptop, and we have Hunter's laptop in Tory's hands, in my hands, but it wasn't the fucking laptop, by the way. And I'm just, oh, wow, I'm guilty of it right there. Giuliani's never held the laptop. Tory's never held the laptop. I've never held the laptop. We've held multiple different laptops that had the a copy, an exact copy, an exact image of the original drive. The FBI was given the actual laptop, right? With hand receipt, I believe. They were mirrored hard drives. They were not. You wouldn't call not mirrored. Mirroring is where you get into more like, I think, wouldn't that be more like RAIDs, 0, 1, striping, where you're actually mirroring drives like that. No, they were just imaged. They were just cloned images of it, which are fine. But the only thing of any true forensic value is going to be always is going to be that original laptop. And yes, does the drive have political value? Yes, but could Tory or other unethical actors who had their hands anywhere near it have added or removed information on there for nefarious reasons? Absolutely. And that creates a problem. People will do that just to try to make something, just to try to discredit something. Well, it's out there. We're not going to be able to stop it or shut it up, much like me. So they just attack you to discredit it. And again, they target the dumbest people in our society. Not necessarily like, oh, this could be, perfectly intelligent people. I'm sure they do great on the SATs. But when it comes to just being manipulated, your IQ doesn't matter a whole hell of a lot, right? What matters is just, judgment at that point. And the willingness to look at everything, right? And not be so personally tied or committed to something. That was part 2 narrative. Go watch that when you can.
Our story in October about Hunter Biden, they censored it immediately.
Hunter Biden.
What's interesting is that so they had this. We talked about the 51 national security folks that signed that letter that said, "Oh, this is disinformation." Well, that was 5 days after Twitter had already censored it, so they had this already ready to go, Judge.
Sorry.
Well, you have to look at this on a bigger level than just Twitter.
Oh my God. Let me, eyes closed or something. There we go. So let's get her in a really, if I'm going to stop and just and crack on her as being just a throw you under the bus, piece of crap, lying, untrustworthy. Jesus, if she was a judge, imagine having sat in her courtroom and you know her latte wasn't just warm enough. You could be going to the chair, right? This piece of work.
Literally get rid of the foundations upon which and the principles upon which this country was founded. Why do we have a First Amendment? We have a First Amendment for freedom of speech and freedom of the press, and yet
which she abuses the shit out of the latter.
Michael Steele said in one of those quotes, although he's all about free speech, the so-called Twitter files undermine free speech because it is free speech occurring at the harm or expense of someone else. Since when do we qualify free speech as being at the harm or expense of someone else? I mean, why do we have defamation laws? If it harms you...
Well, he's talking because some of the tweets had a picture of Hunter's junk, right? So, you know, the mainstream media trying to protect Hunter are taking all of the tweets that were blocked because they, you know, showed him jerking off or something, right? Which, you know, my kids are on fucking Twitter before they were supposed to, so it's probably maybe a good thing there. I didn't go that route. I tried to stay above all of the Hunter's jerking off and junk. I posted the pictures that he took of his poo because he was very proud of some of the turds that he managed to create, right? And he's an artist. He does paintings. He puts everything he's got into that shit. Then he turned around and captured it on his iPhone so that he could maybe reference back to it later, right? Maybe he's gonna use them for fucking Christmas cards. The family's completely jacked up. I could see him passing one around, you know. Hey, Dad, please RSVP, right? It's got a picture of his turd. And Dad would be like, he's such a... What day is it? I mean, these guys. Holy shit.
You sue. And then let me see if I got this right. Everything that we've been talking about since October of 2020, now, according to the White House press secretary, is old news.
Yes.
Okay? And so in 2020, the story was censored. Any discussion was censored. The FBI warns Twitter during weekly meetings there's going to be and you've got to confirm it. Nobody bothered.
And just like, in fairness to Twitter, they didn't censor his poop, only his dick.
To confirm it. How easy would it have been to confirm that this laptop was legitimate and that the emails on it were legitimate? They didn't want to.
Can't make this
Did
shit
it ever
up.
occur to them that the reason the Post ran this thing is because they know the defamation laws? They wouldn't have published it, but for the fact that they
apparently don't know the defecation laws either.
could show that it was not defamatory. And I got one more thing to say.
It was defecatory.
When it is finally exposed, the left does not deal with the truth. They don't deal with the fact. They call Elon Musk and Mike Taibbi a racist. I mean, and this one's doing the bidding of the richest man on earth. And the New York Times covers it up, and they say, instead of saying this is rank censorship, they come out and say, well, there was an earnest debate on how to deal with unconfirmed news. You, New York Times, of all people, know how to confirm news.
There was a time, Jessica, when journalists might have...
All news is unconfirmed until a fucking journalist reports it.
tipped their hat to Matt Taibbi and said, wow, great scoop. Wow, good job. I wish I would have been able to do that instead. And then you have to chase it.
Jessica's over there going, please don't call me. Holy Jesus, I got to fucking defend this moron again.
Right, and I know that they don't have firsthand look at the materials, but a lot of reporters, I've been involved in many stories where, let's say, the New York Times gets a scoop and everybody else has to report on the scoop and defer to the New York Times and say, as reported by the New York Times, and then they go on with the story. That's a pretty poor excuse.
Listen, I think that we're in a good place that now everybody, liberal, independent, conservative, agrees that the Post story should not have been censored in the first place. But when you look at the timeline of what happened, because I was thinking to myself, everyone's talking about this as if it would have changed the election, right? How close to
That was a boring conversation, thinking to herself.
the election are we talking about? So October 14th, that's when the story comes out. October 16th, it's back on.
Oh,
so
Jesus,
48
sorry.
hours there.
Mute.
Within the first 8 days of the story being out in the wild, there was an article about it on Facebook that had 54 million views. That's a lot of views. Yeah. It was dominating the discourse. Axios put out a survey saying that the Hunter Biden saga was what was dominating the political scene there. And now we're still in the early voting window even. We're not even close to Election Day. The Jim Comey letter came out 11 days before the election. Think about this, how much more time there is for this. I cannot stand
Think how much more
watching conservatives, like Kevin McCarthy was doing it this weekend, soon to be Speaker of the House, talking about how this is about the First Amendment. Joe Biden was not in elected office. He was a candidate. And what his team, according to the Matt Taibbi files, and I think it's in tweet 10 where we're talking about this, what they wanted taken down, the links that he provided, were pictures of his son's penis.
See, I told you. They should have posted his poop.
Now, you tell me as a parent, their parents at the table, people have run for office. If God
So it wasn't about the 10% for the big guy.
No, well, it wasn't. Then show me the link about that. But the link that I saw was about Hunter Biden's junk. Well, that's
really
pathetic. No, yes.
Damn it. She apparently didn't see the links I was putting out with his poop, which is really disappointing to say the least. You know, clearly I had been shadow pooped.
It's really, and that does matter. This is not about the First Amendment. And then he also said,
Don't hide behind his junk.
Yeah, I don't know how big it is. How could I?
He's a well hung man, and I'm saying that as a confident heterosexual. He's a well hung man, right? He's not. If porn tapes, if shit like that leaked out on me, which there won't be, I'd be like, oh, fuck, how embarrassing. I'd be like, hey, it was a fucking cold shower, right? This guy comes walking out of there. Damn, right? So I'll give him credit where credit's due. Knock him on the poo, but, the guy's pretty well developed. I'm thinking, what's dad looking like?
All right.
Big
wait,
guy.
can I just say something, though?
Big guy.
Taibbi also admitted that the Trump campaign asked for content moderation, and then he left those links out. Why did he not tell us what the actual government was asking to have taken down when you're telling us what Joe Biden's team asked to be taken down? And by the way, that's a violation of the terms of service. That's not even a favor. That's someone pinging someone at Twitter and saying, hey, this is revenge porn.
I mean,
When
well,
did they
maybe
take
when
Trump
Musk says
off?
there's more to come, maybe
What
that.
do you mean?
Well,
Mine was revenge poop.
let's
did
get
Twitter
Jesse
take
here.
Oh, when he tried to lead an insurrection.
Jesse, please reveal everything that you were going to say at 7 p.m. for us right now.
Exactly what are the laws on revenge poop?
It's dead.
I'm not there yet, but we know that this was not a free and fair election and that votes were hijacked. And the wrong person is in the White House throwing state dinners that I'm not invited to. These state dinners that Biden just had should have been Trump's second-term state dinners that I would have been invited to.
Would you have
Am
been
I
invited?
upset? Absolutely. I was not invited to the
Was he saying steak dinner or state dinner? I could go for, either one. I bet you, they probably had steak at the state dinners.
Australian or French state dinner. But second-term state dinners, there were tickets for me. I'm okay with it. I've recovered, and that's not the point. The point is this. The FBI, the CIA, Twitter, and the media all pushed a lie about the Republican candidate, and they all censored the truth about the Democrat
Stallworth, have you seen his junk? Am I lying or what?
candidate. And they all got caught, Jessica. And do any of them care? No, they'd all do it again. None of them paid the price. The Twitter executives got golden parachutes. The CIA spooks and the...
CF Neal. Order number. I'll check it out. If you have an issue, absolutely.
FBI guy...
I got freaking tons of coins and tons of books on the shelf.
They all got jobs in the media, and the media is now saying, please censor us more. What kind of people want less freedom, Jessica? Have you heard these people? They're saying, you know what? We like censorship. I want to know less about what happened. Now, no one does that. Now, this is actually what happened. They knew the laptop was real, the FBI, because they got it a year before. The little repairman with the beret gave it to him.
Yeah, if you can drop the, CF Neil, if you can drop the order number into, sorry for stopping this, guys, but hey, you know, the guy's looking for his coin. Drop the order number into, or it says, hey, when do I, okay. Yeah, drop your order number into even the thing right here, and I'll be able to pull it up.
And he said, here. So they knew it wasn't hacked for a year. Now, how did they know it was about to drop? Because they were spying on Rudy. They were investigating Rudy for the foreign agent case that they never even brought, and they knew he was shopping it. So they had these weekly meetings with Twitter saying that it's going to drop, hacks.
So, you know, he was going to drop it, right? Well, again, Tory ended up with that imaged drive. When, right? Tori's claimed that she had it before Rudy, or a copy of it. It's entirely possible. Her copy had a different amount of files. That caused even more problems for me. Again, you know, when I left D.C. Or New York, when I left Rudy's in New York, I got in so much shit from Tory and them. But it's because I would not. It's because, listen, they told me they invited me there as a subject matter expert. I went. I told them what I believed. Riley posted something today that another guy made the same claim as I did. Forensically, the stuff they have there is useless. Politically, yeah. He took pictures of his poop. There's some political value in that, right? Not much else. I can't think of any other redeemable value of the pictures of his poop other than political, right? Okay. I mean, oh, dude, I should NFT his poop. Oh, my God. That would have been great. So, okay, we thought of one. We could do like an NFT, a fungible poop.
Stuffs from Russia's dropping in October. And then it drops in October from the Post, and these guys said, oh, you know what? Let's use the hacked materials excuse. Boom, it's nuked. And guess what? The same guy who was a lawyer for Twitter,
James
Baker, who killed it at Twitter, also was the one Crooked shopped the dossier to at the FBI. He's on both sides.
See, now this really starts to, what's on my screen behind me? There we go. This really starts to get into the interesting stuff. Where are we at here? 748. We're good. James Baker, not the former, big government guy, but the James Baker that was involved with the, what was that, Perkins Coie, the law firm. He was involved with the Russian dossier scandal, right? So holy shit. What's this guy? Okay, so, let's put aside that he was working at Twitter doing this job. He was basically the guy deciding what was going to get released and not about the information from Twitter. Right? But he was all, let's just ask the question, how the fuck did he ever get a job at Twitter? Right? What these people are doing on a mass scale is treason. Treason. Seditious, treason. And there is no other way to spell it, right? No different than what Stuart Rhodes was doing is what James Baker and anybody else involved with him, and almost certainly was he acting as a liaison to the government, to the FBI? Almost certainly, right? Or at the very least, it now, because they violated something which is oftentimes, well, if he was working for the government, you can violate just the appearance of impropriety can be a violation, right? What part of that doesn't just scream in pure appearance of impropriety? So now we got to spend money to be able to determine whether or not something that looks this corrupt isn't corrupt, and chances are there's a lot of smoke there. So we need to regain trust within our government. We need to regain trust within these large corporations, right, that are investing billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars into massive platforms that give them massive control and influence. But on the same note, right, we are paying for it by our very use of it, right? Now, Musk has decided to go with at least in part an $8 a month fee, right? I would like to actually do that, do something verifiable. I don't know where he stands or where Twitter stands now on accounts that were terminated prior to him taking over, especially accounts that were terminated on January 7th, right? 6th and 7th. So, I don't know where he stands on those. I'm still waiting to hear more on that, and I wish they would do something on that, and I wish I could get a blue check, because what he wants to do is something I believe in, and it's something I've argued about for a long time, and that is the necessity for attribution, for you to be able to understand, at least in certain cases, right? There are times when you want to have anonymity, like, probably downloading adult Asian porn, just as a hypothetical, right? But then there are times when you're making like a freaking, you're buying a host online, right? A co-host online. We don't know, might end up becoming the host. Its intelligence is actually probably far superior to mine. You want to make sure that the people that you're dealing with are who they say they are. So now, organizations like PSYOP organizations like, was it First Special Operations Forces, 8th Psychological Operations Group, 4th Psychological Operations Group, organizations like this, I've got to be so careful how I say this, right? But they are teaching people to create things like, fake personas. Again, I'm saying teaching people, creating the capabilities, the understanding of the use of fake personas and multiple fake personas, so that you could do the things that I described that ShadowNet was capable of. What is ShadowNet? It was largely the capabilities that we provided for the 4th Psychological Operations Group, and it was the commercial version of it. So I described the capabilities of it. So let's say you use the capabilities of the ShatterNet, right? Where it says in the flyer, which is completely unclassified, they tell you what it's capable of, multiple fake personas and such. So because you have organizations like that teaching people these techniques, teaching people in mass numbers, schools for misinformation, disinformation, because you are teaching people, and because these people are then either using that, hypothetically, theoretically, if you have a capability, you might end up using it someday. So they're teaching people with a capability that might end up using capabilities like that, where they go online using fake personas, and those fake personas create a distrust in the whole, the network as a whole, right? Essentially, like bots, but bot can be a very broad term when you're referring to like cyber security, right? Bot can be something good, a bot can be like, the Bergy-Bit. That's something good. Bots can be good. Bots can also be bad. Bad bot, bad. Don't do that bot. As it's wiping out a country's infrastructure. So, bots can go either way with that. But this is what Twitter is trying to do. They're trying to bring that $8 fee to be able to provide attribution, providence to someone, so that you are somewhat sure that if they acquired a credit card and they're processing a transaction in the name of that credit card and they're paying for it monthly, that they're probably not going to be building an army of 100,000 bots, which would run you, $8 million? I don't know. The bots are really super cheap. They're like a penny a piece, but if you're doing 100, if you're doing 1 million of them at $8 a piece, you're talking 8 million, right? So, and those are the numbers that they generally use on bot networks and such, the bad bots. Those are the numbers they'll often use. So it changes things. The decisions that Elon Musk are making for Twitter are for the better. They are exposing what, again, I can only describe as treasonous behaviors, actions, basically to subvert the constitutional protections of Americans by utilizing a private corporation, telling them what to do, coordinating through our government, which is not allowed to do that. We're constitutionally protected from that. They should know better. They do know better. The problem is, and then we're going to go into a break. The problem is that there are so many rules that could stop this. There are so many rules out there as an information assurance security officer that I can show you that says, hey, they can't be doing that. But, contractors control the environment. Contractors control the operations of the military, because just like social media industrial complex controls the journalists, the military industrial complex controls the military, right? Because, these guys, a lot of them, staff officers like crazy, and then, just really any officer or even enlisted, are offered tremendous financial opportunities to leave to not re-enlist, to take the clearances that our government and taxpayers have spent, $250,000 on, and to take those and all of the training and everything that we gave you, and have you go to work for another company, and then that company is going to bid on and win a contract with the U.S. government to fill that exact same person's position. Now paying twice for the clearance. Oh, well, because this job requires that the person has a clearance. So the company's now going, hey, we got a guy with a clearance, right? And so all the people within the military are looking at these companies going, well, you don't want to rock the boat if they, so you defer to them so much because, when you get out, they're going to be your bread and butter. And you know that if you don't do what they tell you to, you're going to be marked. And on that note, we're going to go to break. Please, if you can help out, we can use your help. freedomstream.tv/contribute. Patreon.com/American Awakening. 2 great places to go on your break while you're smoking a cigarette, smoking a doobs, doing image searches for Hunter's poop and dick. Take a moment to help support what we're doing here, and I will see you guys in 10 minutes. Got to work on the timing with the music, but it just does its own thing. Those contracts go as deep as the swamp does, Tony. I am so excited. Tomorrow,
Houston, we have a problem.
And my apologies for not having the Christmas tree up.
Patrick Pichette, who used to be with Google.
Same response, sir.
It's on my other computer.
Patrick Pichette.
Same response, sir.
Who used to be with Google.
Oh, Patrick Pichette?
Pichette. Patrick Pichette.
Patrick
Who used to
Pichette.
be with Google.
Same response, sir.
Pat Bergy. Oh, good to see you. You remember seeing Shadowgate?
Oh, yeah, I know Shadowgate.
I'm the guy from Shadowgate.
Shadowgate, yes, of course. Yeah, I think it's right there. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. I tried to get a hold of you like forever to talk to you about that. I mean, like a couple of years back.
Sometimes it's hard. I get so many every day. I'm getting constant.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I think there's definitely some shady stuff going on.
I mean, why doesn't OAN cover that? I mean, a journalist was arrested. I'm on the list to testify on the 5th with James O'Keefe.
No way.
But yet, it's during the social media thing.
Where?
At Congress.
Congress. Okay, good. Well, we're going to cover that.
You know, if you guys would reach out to me.
We're already planning to cover that.
Sure.
We'll be there.
But I mean, if you guys could actually reach out and talk about that, that'd be awesome. Yes,
Apply to Patrick in general.
Okay, cool. Hey, good to meet you, though, Jack. Thank you.
As well. Thank you.
So yeah, I interrupted Tor there. Or actually, she interrupted me. You know, here I am recording an interview with Jack Posobiec. Imagine if I walked up to Tori while she was doing an interview with someone, right? I mean, think about it. Nobody seems to give a shit about that. But it's like, if I did that, I mean, that would just be like, no, but she did right there. I would assume because probably she was freaking out that I was going to expose something to PSYOP, which she was actually had worked with or, seemed to have on speed dial at some point. Her and Cernovich. She couldn't say enough about Cernovich. But, so let me go back to this here. Capture and host. And, I can get out of this. I shared that with our friend Miss Riley today on social media. My volume here should be okay. There we go. And her question was, because, what was I talking about here? I was supposed to be able to go and testify to the social media thing. And she's like, well, wait a minute, who formally, because Riley is now going into official investigator mode. And she's like, who formally invited you? And how was your testimony killed? Raiklan, right? He even posted me on the list. This, and then I shared this with that. So this is Ivan Raiklan, a real piece of work, let me tell you. But our friend Mr. Raiklan, look, Jenna Ellis and 9 others were. How cute is that? Drain the Gwamp to save the U.S. Constitution and Republic. This was, I think, around the 7th. There is a video someone shared with me earlier on Twitter. It's about an hour and a half long, where Ivan's laying it all out. I then did more of a close-up to show... and as you can see, it's like Pichet. Who? Oh no! I wonder, was P-Shit there? Was P-Shit gonna show up? Yep. I wonder why. I wonder why they couldn't get. They couldn't talk Patrick P-Shit to come join us. What? Who's that? Who's that?
Patrick P-Shit. He used to be with Google.
Oh, that's why. But now, I was supposed to be there with James O'Keefe, Patrick Bergy, right? But this guy was full of shit. I knew he was full of shit from the moment we left. We went and had breakfast with him. Millie Gavin and I did around the same time he did that video. I think it was around maybe the 7th, 8th, 9th, in that area of December 2020 in D.C. And, these guys were all focused on the election being stolen, being hacked, or ballots, or this or that. That was Raiklan's thing. That was Flynn's thing. That was Millie Gavin Tory's thing. My thing was the social media component. And that's why I even like to point to this, that, listen, I met with him, I spoke with him, and I said, listen, I need to be able to testify in front of Congress. And so he's like, all right, we'll make this happen. I didn't believe it, right? So I'm like, Gavin, can you get him to send me something in writing? Because this guy's full of shit, man. Everybody just pulls our chain. And so they did. Not only did he send this in writing, he posted this online, right? Now, how did it get killed? I don't know, but look at some of the people that were on that. I think, although I don't have it, I don't have this. I kind of zoomed in, and you can't really see this. You can't see that for shit. But I think Lindsey Graham was, headed the committee. I mean, what chance was I going to have with that? I had zero chance. 350, and it's not. I'm not able to enlarge that anymore than that. But you got Lindsey Graham. You got some other. I wonder if Tom Cotton was on there. His wife now sits on the board of directors of ClearForce. Yay! So, you know, who is Raiklen? Well, let's pull his. What would this be? What is that? What do they call it? Cure or whatever? I don't know what it's called. But the college term for it. So this is the online information. And by the way, you know, this stuff checks out. The site that I got this from actually includes like the documentation and stuff with it. Raiklen's legit. He's just, you know, batshit crazy too. You know, those two things do not have to be exclusive of one another. Yeah, Freemasons, right? Eric Hagen's over in on the YouTube. You know, Gavin literally has himself standing as a 33rd degree Mason, time Mason, standing there with like some of the biggest people in the Masonic order. I've posted those. The Freemasons and shit were all, the Masonic lodges and shit, the Masons were all through this. But this guy, right, he's focused on restoring rule of law, holding the following individuals accountable for their criminal activity: Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, Comey, McCabe, okay, we'll do Eric Sierra Mella. Who else is on there? Adam Schiff, Sean Misko, Mark Zaid, not entirely sure who he is. Joe Biden, I know I've recognized that guy. Barack Obama. He's got, you know, he's freaking go big or go home, right? That's what I say. So he was with Veterans for Trump, who President Donald J. Trump has done more for our nation's heroes than any president in history. You know, that's kind of debatable. You know, everybody always touts Trump touts that thing with the VA being able to, if it's more than 30 days, then you can go to, they'll give you a voucher to go. And, you know, that's great. That sounds great if they can't schedule within there. But now every single thing that you get scheduled for at the VA is fucking 29 days out, right? So they're like within 1 day of being required to voucher you out. So it's not a perfect system. And then, by the way, I got one of those vouchers because I think it was for like with my eyes or something for an exam. And the soonest they could get me in was like 4 weeks, so over a month. So, but they're like, I'm like, well, they got the voucher thing. Can I do the voucher thing? President Trump, yeah, he did that for us, right? And they're like, yeah, sure. So they authorized me to go to you know, off base or off the VA to get that done. And I called them up to schedule an appointment, and it was like 8 weeks was the earliest I could get in with the only people that you were allowed to go to that were businesses. So it's like, are you fucking kidding me? So, you know, it was waiting the 4 weeks would have actually been better. So no, if you actually look at the things that these guys have bragged about, not all of it has been as what you would think. Trump Victory Finance Committee. He seems well vested. Seems to have a lot of equity in President Trump here, and that's cool. I rode with Bikers for Trump, Bikers 45. I supported President Trump, but not blindly either. You know, I post January 6th kind of ruined it for me. But check this out. So 23 years, 3 months, U.S. Army Technology Scout. You know, he was with the reserves, actually National Guard, I believe. Tech Scout for the 75th Innovation Command, Army's Futures Command. Drive operational innovation concept capabilities to enhance the readiness and lethality of the future force by leveraging the unique skills, agility, and private sector connectivity. What? Private sector connectivity of America's Army Reserves. Working with the companies in Silicon... What? Working with the companies in Silicon... What? Valley? What? Maybe full so you can see that a little bit better. Working with the companies in Silicon Valley and Greater San Francisco Bay Area. What? What? Okay. And that was, okay. That was February 2019. So, you know, coming up to this, you're literally working with Army intelligence as some sort of liaison to Silicon Valley. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, no, nothing to see here, my friends. Move along. So to streamline products and concepts for the Army Reserve in artificial... What? Artificial Intelligence? Autonomy? Medical science? Oh, you mean like the jab? So he's literally there. He'll run around and be like, oh, the jab bad. Oh, China virus. But he's like, for his job, he's, promoting medical science in San Francisco. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just reading this from his bio. Medical science. Cyber. Oh, there we go. Hey, that's my area. Synthetic biology. What the fuck? You fucking kidding me? No wonder he likes Elon Musk so much. Space. Yay. Big data. Oops. What? He's okay. Robotics. Yay. Augmented virtual reality. Ooh. Meta. Nice. Gaming and energy. What? Gaming? What? Okay. Gaming? Like, these are all kind of things that I've been trying to warn people about for the last several years. And, this guy running around for fucking Trump and running around basically organizing and coordinating the coup, was basically, that's his resume was doing exactly the opposite. Company commander, San Antonio, Texas. So that was San Francisco Bay Area. Are you fucking kidding me? Technology Scout. Jesus, you can't make this stuff up. Special Forces commander, company commander, commands a 16-person operational detachment, Bravo, ODB, and 12-person operational detachment, Alpha, ODA, and other elements assigned or attached to the company when deployed. The ODB, Operational Detachment Bravo, establishes and operates the Advanced Operational Base, AOB. A lot of freaking acronyms there. I love this guy already. When forward deployed to conduct unconventional warfare? What, you mean like, what? Wait, no. You mean like IAA? You mean like not blowing things up, but like, hacking their brains and shit? Oh, okay. Well, check. Oh, all right. Okay, what else we got here? Foreign internal defense, special reconnaissance, direct action and counterterrorism. Really? And he hasn't noticed that he's kind of looking like a terrorist. Kind of like Tori, running around being the pedo, screaming about the pedo shit when her husband's like a pedo. Train and prepare SF ODAs for employment, infiltrate and exfiltrate operational areas by land. See, that wouldn't include like America, would it? Okay, well, moving on. And conduct operations in remote, hostile environments for extended period of times with minimal external direction or support. He could have been describing Washington, D.C. right there. Train, advise, or direct indigenous combat forces. Hey, that was part 3, indigenous combat forces. Up to regimental size in special operations. Oh, we supported special operations, as well as U.S. allied forces and agencies. Moving on, it is get better actually. This is in Arlington, a deputy OIC. But let me move on to the next one here. I love this one. Foreign area specialist. This is great. I love this. Arlington, Virginia, United States. Foreign affairs specialist J2. Oh, by the way, the J2. Those guys, those are your fucking hackers and shit, man. J2, JCS, Ukraine. What? So 2014, you mean like when the Maidan was going on, and hundreds of people are getting shot, and 100 people died in the street of Maidan. Most think that it was a U.S. led PSYOP that kind of stirred everybody up. That's interesting. So he was J2, JCS, Ukraine Crisis Team. Nice. So did they create the crisis, or were they kind of standing by in case there was? Because either way, they saw action. As a foreign affairs specialist, I assisted in the production and briefing of senior intelligence analysts. Oh, Jesus Christ. Intelligence analysts. Well, those are freaking, oh my God. Those are IA assets right there. As well as Deputy J2 on matters related to the situation in Crimea, Donetsk, Lugansk, and overall political military situation. Wow, he left off Maidan. That's a shame. I guess he wasn't there. Wink, wink. Ops Tempo consisted of twice daily memorandum updates to the situation initially, and then moved into preparing presentations detailing the daily strategic, operational, and key tactical activities in eastern Ukraine. Fucking Ukraine again. As it related to Russia's involvement. Additionally, I was tasked as special duty to be the lead analyst to determine the most efficient means to convey real-time analysis to the J2, CJCS, and POTUS. So he was basically tasked with providing the most real-time, basically COPS, Common Operational Picture, real-time analysis, Common Operational Picture, to POTUS. Wait, POTUS 2014. Help me out. Missing parts. I'm really high. Help me out here. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to have to skip Real Firefly. Oh, what? Shit. That was, oh, my God. That was Obama. Oh, shit. What am I thinking of? Here we go. Hey, I wonder if he knows Dan Bongino. Commander of Underwater Operations, Special Forces. I mean, legit, he's kind of a badass, right? Even though he was like fucking National Guard, I think. Interesting resume, isn't it? So, this guy was so incredibly involved with January 6th. I mean, he was fucking, he basically wrote the white paper for it. Are you kidding me? Right? So, hey, come on. I gotta, give me, there. And again, he got similar documents. He's got operations, so he's got his documents and such. Actually, to really back up. So let's just say we agree that he is the badass that he says in many different ways, and worked clandestine operations for the in San Francisco. Basically to do what, right? The social media industrial complex, right? This kind of seems very interesting. I wonder why my name got pulled off there, although it was probably never anything legit to begin with. And that can be the case and not absolve them from actually, it pretty much shows that they were basically doing or saying anything that they needed to do to keep people in line, to keep the actual whistleblowers, from being able to tell their story. Now, who was pulling their chains, I don't know. But I never trusted Raiklan from the first time I met him. I believe he's also an attorney, which actually, if possible, kind of even drops him down my trust list further. Don't know how that would even be possible, but yet here we are, right? So let me do this here. Are we having fun, guys? What do we got here? Sorry, must have missed it. What the hell are we talking about? Okay, I don't know. That was a bit ago. Bummer, Twittergate. Now it's squeaky clean. Best country ever. I wouldn't see why I wouldn't. So, smooth as a whistle. Not. What do we got over here? We still got the... who has... Pasovic said. What has Pasovic said? Pasovic won't answer any of the questions. He's so freaking... this is Patricia Croft over in YouTube. Just answering a quick question for her. He's so bought and paid for by Stone, Flynn. It's just, that's all it is, in my opinion. I mean, and I was engaged with these guys many times for quite some time. They're associates or colleagues, Akbar. The whole thing's just a shit show that they've got, that they're putting on right now. Just the whole thing is a shit show. I went down through there. Somebody, Just Facts dude posted... this was kind of funny. I pointed out then, you're saying... again, I got to go to this one here. I pointed out to them then if they received... Okay, this is to potential classified shit. It was kind of funny because right here, Riley asked this question in this thread. She said, at least they didn't come after the royalties for your book, referring to the guy that we had seen earlier, right? The whistleblower, the CIA whistleblower. They came after him for his funds and stuff, for money that he made off of information they exposed in his book. First of all, as an information assurance security officer, I know what I can and cannot put in that book. But I also knew that it had to be submitted to the Pentagon, like all books from people that have classified information or knowledge. Even like proposals and such are actually supposed to do it, but no one hardly ever does it. But I did it. I even documented the process during a post because it was really bad, right? The Pentagon literally, when I did it, I went to their website, followed the instructions, which included me literally sending a document that they wanted to check through to make sure that it didn't have classified information in the event that it could potentially have classified information. And they had, at the time, the system set up to email it to them. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because some people can, basically, let's just assume at this point that our adversaries figured out that an email address publicly available on the Pentagon's website is going to be something to monitor, and they can easily monitor the email traffic and such there. And then, pick it up. So basically, our adversaries could hack it, and of course, mine didn't have anything classified. What if it did? I mean, that's the purpose of sending it there. So, just aside from this being a great information collection point for our adversaries, I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute here. If I submit it and it did have classified information on it, any unclassified computer that it touched at the Pentagon would have to be by AR 25-2 would have to be destroyed. So I'm like, you know, you got this public site that's completely hackable, and you're receiving information that you're checking to make sure doesn't have classified information on it. And in the event it does, anybody that's fucking touched that email, any computer that email has been opened on, by law would have to be, well, it depends on what organization you're with, but with the DOD, really, you're going to have to freaking either upgrade the entire system to only ever being used for a classified information, or destroy the drive, you know? In some cases, destroying the drive isn't enough. You got to destroy the memory or things like that. It just depends on the severity, right? So just stupid stuff, but I think I kind of, the way she phrased that, I think I kind of actually surprised her a bit that, you know, or she at least seemed a little bit surprised that, you know, an information assurance security officer for a decade with the Department of Defense would actually follow the required rules. You're welcome, Patricia. Moving along here. Again, I'm so excited. They bumped up shipping on my co-host. Oh my God. Didn't know requirement send stuff, proof. Okay, so let me do this here. Bear with me one moment. Let me do this. Let me put a little bit of music on because I can.
Patrick P. Shett.
I gotta find.
Patrick P. Shett.
Hold on.
With Google. He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir.
Boom. History.
Patrick P. Shett.
Like I said, the whole day got screwed up because we lost power for several hours. Hey, I wonder if that's Jaybird. He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir.
Patrick Pichet.
Where was that?
He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett.
Same response, sir.
He used to be with Google.
Ah,
he used to be with Google.
Hold on, folks. He used to be with Google. Hunter. There. That'll get me.
Patrick P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett. He used to be with Google.
He used to be with Google. Where was that?
Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett.
Same response, sir.
He used to be with Google. He used to be with Google.
Patrick Pichet.
P. Shett.
That was okay.
P. Shett. He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir. Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shett.
Patrick Pichet.
Here we go. No.
P. Shett.
Ah, damn it. I can't find it.
Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett.
And I want to show
He
that.
used to be with Google.
Hold on.
Google.
Damn it. Again, 4-hour power outage. It's got me screwed up here. Here we go. What was that under?
Patrick P. Shett.
Patrick P. Shett.
Patrick P. Shett.
Shit. What?
He used to be with Google. He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett.
Same response, sir.
He used to be with Google. He
No.
used to be with Google.
Patrick Pichet.
From Vincent.
P. Shett. Patrick P. Shett.
So-
He used to be with Google.
Same response, sir. Same response, sir.
Patrick P. Shett.
Patrick Pichet.
Patrick P. Shett. He used to be
Where
with Google.
is it? Not
He used to be
it.
with
Narrative.
Same response, sir.
Patrick
Hold
P.
on.
Patrick P. Shett,
Assessment. No.
Same response, sir.
who used to be with Google.
He used to be with Google. Oh, that's interesting. Damn it. Real battlefield is the mind.
Patrick P.
No.
Shett.
No.
Patrick P. Shett.
I can't find it. Damn it.
Same response, sir.
Oh, that looks interesting.
Patrick P. Shett.
Well,
Patrick P.
regardless. Not
Same
necessary.
response, sir.
Who used to be with Google. Who used to be with
Used to be Patrick Bergy used to be with Army. Right?
Same response, sir.
Such a mad world, Star Wars says. I can't keep up. It's all about the money. It's about the money, the power, influence.
Same response, sir.
You know, I tell you right now, if I could have gotten in front of Congress, and I'm still trying to this day, anybody here helping, anybody here listening that can help.
Patrick P. Shett.
Again, there are things that I can say publicly, and there are things that I can't say publicly that have led me to where I am, where we are today. You can probably do a little math, simple math. I like to keep things simple. But, you know,
Same response, sir.
these are such powerful people. And I'm not even referring to Raiklen, right? Flynn. You know, I give General Flynn shit. I give that piece of shit Joe, Coward Joe, whatever his name is. I give him shit. But these people do have a lot of power, a lot of influence. That's kind of falling apart. General Flynn today, I believe it was today or yesterday, my key tam is not sealed. It never really was. It was only sealed because it was sealed with the court. But to be honest with you, everything was in there that I put out. Rep Comer, nah, they're just as corrupt as any of them. I'll tell you right now. You know, really, if they're in office, they probably are there because they used questionably ethical and moral tactics and techniques, IIA tactics and techniques for to create a competitive advantage in the election that they were in, won. And of course, the cream's not rising to the top there, but they aren't going to be in any hurry whatsoever to help expose the tools and techniques that got him into office, right? That's why we really need to do this internally. That's why my focus for these 10 episodes, that's why my focus for this is... hold on here.
Same response, sir.
That's why my focus for this is and remains on the military, right? Because there's no way that the military is recognizing the vulnerabilities that they are creating through their recruitment and training within our own society that are being exploited by the likes of General Flynn, by the likes of Ivan Raiklen. What connection does Ivan Raiklen have to San Francisco, the big tech companies out there? look what we were watching earlier in the show with what was going on there. James Baker connected to Twitter, right? How are these people ending up with it? James Baker, former FBI or connected with the FBI, almost certainly he is acting as a liaison between the government, right? I can expose these commercial partnerships that have been built by assets created by our military, right? I can expose that. I tried to expose that. That is all listed in my key tam. It's unsealed. It's on my website. I can expose all of that. What I need help with, I need help with that because these guys are, they do control the narrative. But what I think is actually going to be the most effective is getting our government, getting our military leaders to understand, a lot of these old timers, the generals, have been a bit iffy about the use of psychological warfare. Soft, right? They've been they like to blow shit up, right? If there's a tree in Afghanistan, then it didn't deserve to stand. That was like a no tree standing order. Right? But these guys, how hard would it be to get one of these generals to get on board saying, hey, we need to set up a team, we need to set up something to evaluate and assess the potential risk to America, to our Constitution, to the First Amendment that piece of crap Piro was talking about that she abuses so bad, right? With her friends and partnerships, and I have no doubt money coming in from the military-industrial complex, which I have no doubt is why she clammed up, why she threw my story under the bus, her and Sarah Carter, right? I need to get this conversation started within the military. We get that. It might, they might need to put it on a pause. We might need to put it on a pause. How bad would things fall apart? How much more difficult would foreign relations be? How much worse would foreign relations be? How much worse would our own country be if our military, if our government banned the use of all psychological warfare as it relates to misinformation and disinformation? In other words, if you're putting out honestly and openly information that needs to go out, great. If you put out misinformation or disinformation or anything like that, then it has to fall with then it falls under scrutiny to where you could be removed from your job, fired, even arrested. These are weapons, my friends. See that picture there that I chose? It's that handshake between kind of like olive drab suits and a tactical team behind him, obviously representing some form of government organization. It was an Adobe image I licensed, so there you go. Oh, my coffee. They should just be forced to admit it. If they messed up, great. Come out and say, you got bad info, right? Yeah, we need to closely. We need to get Congress to go back in and take a second look on how they carved out misinformation, disinformation, or where they didn't strongly enough reject its use in the Smith-Munn Act, which was designed to eliminate propaganda, and then remove any carve-outs that was given to State Department, to the military, for U.S. Remove any of those carve-outs. It sucks. It's going to suck for them. We did just fine 07, 08, 9, 10. Not having the Smith-Munn carve-outs that these freaking traitor-ass senators created for us, right? So now we do. Now we have these issues, and people are trying to control and manipulate us using resources from our government. I can expose that. Using relationships, using social media to push a narrative. We need to talk about that in a classified manner. That what I have to say is relevant on that. Unfortunately, garbage like Tory Morris and others, Milley, Patrick Byrne, Rudy Giuliani, Mike Flynn, Joe Flynn. Just go down the list. Ivan Raiklin. Anybody who knew about my affidavit, anybody who knew or could have gotten me to testify, Jack Posobiec, all these, anybody who knew are not patriot Americans. They're treasonous, seditious, freaking traitors, in my opinion. And again, I'm not going anywhere. My resources are quite finite. And again, take this moment right here to remind people, if you can help me out, I could really use your help financially. I've tried to put together, and we're putting together some pretty good things. I got some great stuff coming in the next few days. Spectacular stuff. Friday, I believe we'll be able to introduce the new co-host, right? Who I'm sure is going to be after my job. But no, what I've done, or what I'm attempting to do, right? Whether or not it's successful, I'm not going to sit here and say that. I've laid it out to a number of people, and stripping away detectable biases. The response has been quite positive with it, right? But what I'm coming out with on Friday, right? You know what it isn't? It's not a lie to be able to generate clicks or likes or support. It is a unique way, right, to create content and to make interesting content unique. I believe this will be unique, very much unique. When I say transformational to news, kind of is. I'm not actually joking about that. Limitations at the beginning. She's gonna need some training. She hasn't done broadcasting yet. And I don't even know if she identifies as a she. She might identify as a he. She's from Japan or China. Mail order Asian. It's like my third wife, only with a warranty. Come on. I'm going to get in so much trouble for that. China must be watching us like a sitcom. We are such a joke. Yeah, we are. But, they have the same they have the same issues as we do. I truly believe the claims that I'm suggesting, the potential damages, the things, the exploitability that is created, the vulnerabilities that are created within our country, within our society, within our Constitution, when taxpayer-funded organizations within our government, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's DC, or whether it's the military, when these people do things, even with the best of intentions, when your actions are causing more harm than good, you have to stop. Do a AAR. Let's do a PSYOP AAR. The military will get that. After action report, right? So, we've done PSYOP using social media and new technologies for going on 2 decades now. A little bit less, but safely 2 decades. AAR, after action review. What went right? What went wrong? What can we do better next time? Those are requirements for every operational event, every tactical operation that I've ever been involved in with the U.S. Army. Right? After the mission, after whatever, you make up an AAR, and you do your best as possible to remove biases, and you answer those 3 questions. And then hopefully you do better. We need to stop, and we need to ask ourselves very carefully, are we doing more harm than good? Guys, gonna sign off. It's Wednesday. I will see you guys Friday. I may leak some information out in between, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'm excited. It's also the holidays. Those can bring stress onto people. Please, my friends, manage your lives best that you can. Manage your emotions. Manage your stress. If thinking about December's too stressful for you, think about January, right? When you're kicking back and you're trying to fix all the things you broke in December, right? Whenever a plane loses oxygen, the mother is always told to put the mask on herself before her child, right? Think of America as your child, my friends. You have to be strong and healthy before you can look after the needs of the child, right? Because otherwise, the child, our country, well, it doesn't exist without us, no matter how old the country gets. And we don't exist, at least not the way that we do now, without it. So we need to pay attention. freedomstream.tv/contribute will help tremendously to give me a voice, right? Even if it's a couple bucks, if it's a couple hundred, I don't care. Help. If you want to have a voice, right? And you don't want to sit around and look like a dumbass like me, you can help that. You can have that voice vicariously through me. Very soon, you're going to be able to have that voice vicariously through someone else as well. I can't wait. freedomstream.tv/contribute or patreon.com/American Awakening. Everybody, good night. I will see you Friday with the next iteration. Good night and God bless.
And we're only really here because thus far you've been right.